Up next, we are taking a look back to our time out in Portland, Oregon with the Nebraska Wheat Board. One of the tours took us over to Vancouver, Washington in order to get a first-hand look at one of the busiest grain export terminals in the U.S. United Grain has been serving more than 2,000 producers and suppliers in the Pacific Northwest and Northern Plains for more than 50 years now. Market Journal's Bill Dodd has more on our time.
About 100 miles up the Columbia River from the Pacific Ocean, the Port of Vancouver, USA is a premier shipping gateway for the United States and Canada. This port brings together a unique combination of location, experienced labor, and specialized equipment to move everything from steel and aluminum to wind turbines and, of course, grain. This facility is responsible for shipping up to 6 million metric tons of grains and oilseeds to destinations around the globe. One company involved in a great deal of grain exporting from this terminal is United Grain.
United Grain Corporation is one of the premier grain exporters here in the Pacific Northwest. We strive to provide premier service to our customers, our suppliers, everybody that we work with. We do so by being one of the most reliable companies here to work with. That includes logistics, pricing, information, just anything that we can do to kind of separate us from the rest and just give that premier service. We hold 8 million bushels here, but we strive, to do minimum 18 million bushels out of our export spout onto the vessels. So we're not storing grain here. We're buying from our suppliers who originate from the growers directly, trying to give them the best market insight, giving them the best prices possible, and also meeting the needs of our overseas customers as well. Some of our biggest buyers are in the Philippines, of course, Japan, Thailand. We do a little bit of business in South America. Can't forget China. China has been a big boost in our demand as well.
Harvest can be one of the busiest times of year for farmers here in the Heartland. So it stands to reason, while farmers are laboring in the fields for their yields, the good folks at United Grain are prepping to receive, store, and ship any commodities that will eventually find their way to the Pacific Northwest and the Port of Vancouver, USA.
There are, the way the structure works, based on harvest, really. When the wheat comes out of the fields in August, September, it's a lot of wheat coming out of the fields, and we got to have homes for it. So our price structure shows as such. Our prices get cheaper August, September. We need to sell boats to keep the grain fluid. Same thing October, November, when the soybeans and corn come off the fields, we need to have homes to support the supply coming out of the fields. Typically, April, May, June, the buyers know it's going to get cheaper for new crop harvest, and that's usually our slowest time.
Crops such as corn, soybeans, and wheat are primarily transported via rail system directly to United Grain. From there, the rail cars are emptied, the grain stored and reloaded onto a maritime vessel for export. Given the tight schedule our rail system runs on, once a train arrives, the unloading process happens with impressive speed and attention to detail.
We handle all the wheat varieties: white wheat, winter wheat, spring wheat, corn, soybeans. We've handled canola. I know in the past we've handled barley. The railroad, they give us incentives to unload that as quick as possible. 10 hours is what they want us to unload it in to reach our incentive, and we can usually unload a 110, 120 car shuttle in about 8 hours. The vessels also kind of depends. When we're shipping 60,000 tons of one commodity, we can get a vessel done in about 48 hours. Where we kind of, again, separate ourselves from the rest, we have over 300 bins here at United Grain, so we're able to segregate, and we're able to load 4 or 5 different commodities on one ship, and that might take a little bit more time to get that done.
When it comes to the work being done at United Grain, a core belief among the employees there is that everyone from the farmers in the field to the workers on the dock and the customers receiving commodities shipped should benefit from the work being done on this port.
Just that United Grain, I truly am behind, some of our core values here, where we just strive to provide the best service to everybody that we work with. When I was training, I remember my boss once told me, if we're not all making money, then there's no point in doing it. So I really take that into account and just try to make sure that everybody from supply to the people we work with all the way to our overseas buyers is happy and content.
Wrapping up our tour of this facility, one thing was clear. Hosting groups of producers like those we traveled with was an important aspect of the culture surrounding United Grain. Having the ability to connect growers with the final destinations of the commodities they produce is one of the greatest aspects of this job.
To connect our suppliers with the destinations is huge for us. I think it makes the growers, the farmers feel more valuable to see where their wheat's going, that they're actually feeding the world.
As we head into the latest growing season and anticipate another harvest, keep in mind the workers in ports around the United States will be ready and waiting to ensure your commodities reach their final destination. Reporting for Market Journal, I'm Bill Dodd.